My feelings about it are pretty similar to how Sonia Bompasta reacted to every goal, which was this. Like she, like zero expression on her face, just like, sometimes clapping, sometimes almost looking annoyed. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of All About the W. My name is Kai, and my co host Ash is here with me.
Hi everyone.
So, you know what? We are new YouTubers, so new podcasters. So, we've been told to tell all of you to like and subscribe to our channel right at the beginning of the video so that you guys can like do it without forgetting or getting distracted. So, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos. We've already uploaded two of them. Leave your feedback, your thoughts on the WSL, your thoughts on women's football, all of it, all the good stuff, all the hot takes. Please, please, please make sure you bring it to our comment section. Um, so this week, like in this episode, we're going to talk about Gameweek 2. And there were a few interesting matches. Some of them were a bit of a dud. But I suppose before we get started, we did want to discuss a few things pertaining to scheduling, pertaining to the Champions League draw, etc., etc. So I think one of the big sort of chatter on social media that we've been seeing is about the Chelsea versus United game that has been postponed. That was scheduled for next Sunday. That's been postponed. Now the issue there is that the Champions League draw happened, and Chelsea's match against Real Madrid was scheduled for Tuesday, the Tuesday after the United game. So basically, the turnaround time for that is too less. We're looking at 48 hours of turnaround time, which is just not done. So ultimately, the broadcasting, all of it, they could not figure out a way to reschedule the game to say a Friday is big, and that's because United are playing a League Cup match on a Wednesday. So there's just a whole lot of chaos that's happening. I think something like this can be attributed to the teething issue with the WPLL, which is like the new organizational structure, but this is something that could have been easily avoided. Uh, yeah, it just leaves like a really sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of like if you can just get like a software company or someone to do this, you can make sure that you can plan your fixtures with enough space for the Champions League and for any domestic cup tournaments. And plus, I really think this week the Premier League and the WSL, the Spurs games were at the same time, so that takes away from the audience and the eyeballs that are at both games, not just in the stadium but us sitting at home as well, because like when we support our team, we support all our teams, right? We support the women, we support the men, we support the under 18s, the under 21s. So like if we really want to grow the WSL as a league, we have to make sure that fans can catch both games. And I think it's just these scheduling issues and fixture you know these errors and low turnovers, they cause injury to players. They're really stressful for managers and for teams, and they don't help with revenue and generating interest and buzz either. So
Yeah.
it just, in every way, it's a loss. So I really hope that they get over these teething issues, because it's really important for us that the WSL grows, because we're so invested in women's football, and we just want everyone to be able to watch these games and realize how exciting they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other issue with canceling a game like this is uh, Chelsea's next fixture in the WSL is after the Champions League fixture is Arsenal away. Now, Arsenal are and Manchester City, who are both playing Champions League football, can be rightly upset that, well, Chelsea's getting a longer break,
Yeah.
which, I mean, it's not Chelsea's, choice, like, because again, they have also planned the training, etc., around that schedule. But yeah, it's fair for Arsenal and City to feel hard done by, So yeah, like player safety, all of it. It's just super super important. And you know what, Ash? I also think we should in our pod have a separate segment every week, which where we discuss what happened in the live stream chat.
Yeah,
Because
my
Ash
gosh.
really,
I am
yeah,
so I'm so angry, so angry. You have no idea how angry I am. Okay, the WSL needs to take responsibility for it. I appreciate the fact that all of these games are being live streamed for free on YouTube. It's a great opportunity to expand the reach of the game. But at the same time, when you put out content like that, it is your responsibility to make sure that either somebody is monitoring the live chat or that you are disabling the comments on the live chat. Because in the Brighton City game, there was so much unchecked racism against Japanese people. And it is not acceptable because you are responsible for that content. Young children everywhere are watching this live stream, and you are normalizing racism and misogyny and all sorts of terrible things for these kids. And you don't want them to grow up thinking that associating the WSL with racism or misogyny or with queer phobia, any of that sort of thing. So I really think that the live stream chat needs to be disabled, and please get on it. If I know the WSL is probably not watching this, but if anyone connected to them is, please reach out and tweet about this to the WSL as well on X, because really this needs to change. It's just unacceptable.
yeah, I think there is an onus on the WSL as well, right? Like it's their platform. It's their platform where this racism is happening, because you see a lot of it on X, on Instagram, on like all like there's racism everywhere, and we see it a lot in men's football as well. So like because it's your own platform, it's your own channel. I think there is that onus on the WSL to sort of uh, put some kind of check on it. Uh, okay, so those are our thoughts. That's the end of our segment. What was it? What did I call it? What
The
happened
live
in the live stream this
what
weekend?
happened in the live stream.
Yes. So, do you want to start discussing the City versus Brighton game that happened at the Joy
Yeah,
Stadium?
yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I think this was the best game, like especially for a neutral. This was the best watch because it was such a lovely tactical battle. Obviously City are going to be dominant because player for player City are much better than Brighton. But I have to say, I have to commend Dario Vidushik, because he had so many new players, and to bed in so many players at once and to instill a shape into a new team out of possession is really really hard. And this is only their second game. And like the fact that in the two games they played one game where they were on the front foot. They were like charging forward, 4-0 win, amazing ability to go forward. But they showed us that they can play a different way as well, that they can set up defensively against a superior opposition, which will stand them in good stead. Like honestly, of all the matches I've seen right now, to me Brighton look like the best of the rest. After like the big three, Chelsea, Arsenal and City, I think Brighton look really really good. Another thing that I would really 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 like to mention is Kasparai's run for that goal and Hemp's pass to Kasparai. Both those players put in so much work for that goal. And Hemp in general, I thought was a menace in the box. So I will commend them for that. And of course, Bunny Shaw, you always expect her to put it away. I did think she's sort of playing herself into form, which was great.
Yeah, she's a bit off the pace, right? Because I mean, she is coming back from injury, and even that it was a tap in, it was barely a tap in. It almost like
Yeah,
grazed her foot and went in.
yeah.
But yeah, but I agree with you in terms of Brighton's shape and how they play. Uh, the way they were, because City were pressing so high, the way they were playing was making me very nervous, especially like Jocelyn Karabali. I'm a big fan of Jocelyn Karabali. Like she had like an immense World Cup with Colombia, and they were pressing her hard, they were targeting her, but yeah, she was just like doing all sorts of turns in the box. It was just making me very, very nervous. But and they did get into trouble playing out from the back, and that is going to happen when a team like Brighton is playing a team like Man City who will press really hard. But yeah, I think Brighton defended really well overall. Like there was some really incredible last ditch defending, because that's
Yeah.
something I love to watch in football. Just like people just sliding four ways in the box.
Yeah. That's why it was
Like a
exciting
slide.
for the neutral.
Yeah. It was just like four defenders flat on the ground in the
Yeah.
box. It's just like a sight for sore eyes, when things get boring in other matches. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's they defend all the last ditch defending kind of paid off. That was like super exciting for me. And for me, I think what's going to be challenging for Vidicic is that it's very clear that they're they're going to try and dominate the ball whenever they play the teams in the middle of the pack towards end of the table, all of that. But I think what's going to be challenging is, say, when they do play a team in the middle of the pack or in the top half of the table, to see how they can play without the ball. Because to me, Brighton did not generate like a whole lot of chances. Like their XG was like
Yeah.
0.8, and even like visibly you could see there weren't a lot of chances. I think probably the best one was one that kind of fell to Frank Urban, which he just
Yeah.
like shot straight at Yamashita.
Straight at the
Um,
keeper.
yeah. But I think they looked a little unsure in possession. Like they were a little confused as to what to do. So I think the challenge for him now is going to be how can they drill in, if it's counter-attacking football that you have to play, how can you ensure that your team doesn't look so lost in possession? And I thought
Yeah.
Poppy Pattinson had a really good game. I thought she had a very good game against Everton as well last week. Very, very exciting player. I thought she combined pretty well with Bruna as well. Um, but yeah, interesting stuff. I just think, yeah, City were good. I mean, like they created a lot of chances. Midama had a couple, Bunny Shaw had a couple, Hem had, oh my god, Hem had a very
Immense.
good chance.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I mean, I'm assuming that must have been like a 0.8 XG
Yeah.
chance, which even fell on her left foot. It wasn't even on her right foot. I was like, how did you
Yeah.
not score that? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, City looks super threatening. I think Fujino is still sort of uh, she's getting used to the system. WSL is like a different league from Japan, so getting used to the league, all of that. So we'll have to see. I'm unsure why he's not starting Fowler in that position or Chloe Kelly in that position. But yeah, I mean, Fujino also looks threatening from time to time. So that front three, and including me, like plus
Yeah.
Midama, the front four, they just look like just like a very, very scary prospect. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
once they like
scary.
click, it'll be amazing. I will
Yeah.
also give a special mention to Thor's daughter. I thought that she was a great sort of physical presence in the box, and she did so much running in that game. Like I have to give it to her. She was amazing.
Yeah. I wish I'd put Thoris daughter on my fantasy team. Like she's still on the bench. I just benched all my Brighton players because I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. But which it wasn't. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
learned
why
something
we're
new this week.
commending Brighton, I think.
Yeah, some respect to their name is what they said.
Yeah. Do you wanna speak about the Villa Spurs game?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, what did you think about the not last minute, late equalizer from Beth England?
My God, I was jumping off the bed. I was just like, because we were terrible. We were so bad through the whole game. And then, in the last ditch attempt, like, of course, we went up early in the game. So we were not terrible, terrible, but everybody sort of thought that this was Aston Villa's game to win. But I have to say that like that last, I have to give props to Neilden for that pass. It was a really good pass. And then, with Beth England, you know that it's going into the net. If when you get a
Yeah.
pass like that, you know that it's a goal, especially when it comes to England. I will say this. I thought that, like Villa, even though they looked really dominant in possession, they didn't do much. Like they lacked precision in the final third, kind of like you were describing with Brighton, but also having possession. And then, uh, like one sort of thing for the future that Rob might want to look at is that how often we were caught out of possession when we were passing out from the back. Um, so, like, for example, that scuff chance from Daly earlier. That time also, like, Villa managed to win the second ball. So there is the lack of ability to play out from the back, especially when you're being pressed by a team like Villa was pressing us. I think that Spurs really need to work on that. But we did know that it was going to be a hostile away game. So props to Villa for putting up a great show, and props to Spurs for nicking a point under tough circumstances, because they were really tough circumstances. I didn't think Spurs were going to win that game for sure, but drawing that game was also like, to get, like sometimes it shows maturity if a team nicks a point under tough circumstances, and I thought that Spurs did that. I have to commend Villa's midfield as well, particularly Knobs, because like I mentioned, they were winning all the second balls. They were turning over play really quickly. So there's been a marked improvement in Villa's midfield. I think Villa is one of those teams to watch out for. Like they did decently against Chelsea in the first game as well. I mean, especially compared to Palace, and like they did really well in this game. It's a pity that the scoreline turned out to be what it was, because I thought Villa deserved to win that game. And a special mention for Hansen as well, for being like Villa's. Like I thought all the creative outlet for Villa was through Hansen, and all although she tried really hard, her one clear shot went straight to Spencer, so she needs to work on that. But apart from that, I thought it was a great performance by Villa.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I think last season Hansen was out injured quite a bit, and so was Lucy Sanford. So Nobbs was sort of, I mean, and Man City also took Laura Blinkilde-Brown in the January window, so they basically were left without like a midfield. So I remember Lucy Parker playing in the midfield at one point. I want to give a shout out to Lucy Parker. I thought she was immense again. Like Thomas
Yeah,
was pretty good, but Lucy Parker was really, like, she had some really good tackles inside, outside the box, and good interceptions, all of that. But yeah, I think from last year, I think Villa have benefited from having Staniforth and Hansen back to full fitness. I thought Milden was the one who played left back for Spurs, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I thought she had a pretty good game. Like Milton and Claire Hunt were, or as the commentator would call, say, Claire Grant. Uh, just get names right, man. Come on, it's not that hard. Claire Hunt and Milton. I mean, because like Chastity Grant and Kenza Dali, they were sort of interchanging from time to time, but they were sort of giving that left hand side of Spurs defense a tough time. So I
Yeah,
thought they handled it fairly well. And it's good to see that there's some kind of chemistry building up in that back line for Spurs as
yeah,
well. But yeah, Chastity Grant is going to be a menace, I think. She has some, like, big fan. I'm a big fan. And you could see that Villa were almost entirely trying to attack through her. Like all the long balls were going to her so that she can carry the ball.
yeah.
She's fast. And she can also put in like a good cross as well. But yeah, I thought exciting game. Again, I think it's a reminder for us that probably this weekend was a good reminder for us that Villa, Spurs, and Brighton are the teams to really look out for this season because
Yeah,
uh,
it's good for the league, right? That all of these teams that are supposedly like the mid-tier teams have upped their game a little bit, because it means there's a lot more competition for those. those top three spots, and for like just the league health in general, when so many of the games are competitive, because so many of these teams are now going to snatch points away from the top three.
Yeah.
And it so whoever wins the title is the person who manages to beat all these three teams, I think.
Yeah,
So that
absolutely. And
also makes
also,
it interesting.
yeah, it's like before, it's just that you can somehow manage to win, like eke out a win. Chelsea have like a lot of 1-0 wins. Even like the
Yeah,
Villa game, for example, it's a 1-0 win.
yeah,
uh, it's 3 points, fair enough, but now you have to put in the effort, and that's gonna. So we're gonna see how say Arsenal, Chelsea, and City are going to deal with Champions League football, and
yeah,
like teams that are now investing properly, buying like new players from like across the world, and getting in good managers, who have very specific kinds of philosophies.
yeah,
It's super exciting, very very excited for this season.
yeah. Okay, speaking of Chelsea, demolition derby. 7-0 Chelsea versus Palace. What did you
Yeah.
think, Kai?
Uh, my feelings about it are pretty similar to how Sonia Bompasta reacted to every goal, which was this. Like she, like zero expression on her face, just like, sometimes clapping, sometimes almost looking annoyed. I don't know what that's about. I don't think she's one of those managers who celebrates an awful lot on the
Yeah.
touchline, but seriously, 7-0 up, and she was like this. And I'm like, are you
But
okay?
did you think that we learned anything from this game? Like apart from the fact that Palace are terrible, did we learn anything from this game?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you concede one goal in the first half and then six in the second. Like, that's just, yeah, it goes back to what we said, right? Like, last week, which is we have to sort of get Palace's fitness, like, whatever it is, sorted. And they looked
Yeah.
exhausted. Like, the sixth goal, like, they didn't even bother. Like, it didn't seem
Yeah.
like they could be, like, they could actually. It's not that they didn't bother. It really did not seem like they could actually move those five
Yeah.
paces to the left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
I would also say I
so,
think that it's fitness for sure, like 100%. I feel like after the 35th, 40th minute, they look like they have no legs. They've lost their legs.
yeah,
But I will say about Palace that it's like it's the pace of the league as well. I think they're not able to keep up with the pace of the league because these games are coming really thick and fast,
yeah,
and all these different playing styles that they're seeing, they're not able to keep up with the pace of the of when the ball comes to them as well, because they're not able to like practice their movements and transitions and all of that, because they just can't keep up in terms of decision making. When Chelsea is coming at them swarms, they don't know how to deal with that, because like it's physical fitness but also mental fitness, mental agility,
yeah.
to keep up with what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you go 2-0 down against Chelsea, like for a Palace team, that itself is like pretty much game over, right? Unless like some kind of miracle happens. But yeah, I mean, it's all of that. As far as
Yeah,
like Chelsea is concerned, did we learn anything? I think what I learned is that probably Sonia is just like trying out things, and this was
yeah,
one of those fixtures where you absolutely could do it,
yeah,
because Champions League is around the corner. You can't experiment too much there, you know. So I mean, it was weird parts of it. So she's very. It seems like she's very fixated on Guru Wright playing the 10, which fine, sure. But she was interchanging with LJ. LJ was just dropping so deep. She was next to the goalkeeper at one point, and I was like, "What are you doing there? Why are you there?" You
and
know,
against Palace.
against exactly, like Palace is not a team that you shouldn't have to go that far. Just like stand somewhere closer to the opposition box. But yeah, she was just dropping very deep and carrying the ball and all that,
Yeah,
doing LJ things. Yeah, I think I'm a little worried about Lauren James and how she fits into this team, because we have quite a few
yeah,
players to play. You know what is frustrating? It's not even that Sonia is trying Buro at the 10 when she's an exceptional winger. What is
Yeah.
even more frustrating is that we have so many other players who can play in the 10. Like Kat
Yeah.
Macario is a player who can play in the 10. Lauren James, a
I
10.
mean,
Like,
to be fair to Lauren James, she did score.
I mean, well, like most of our team scored. What do you want about? That was a tap in. I'm sorry. No, you don't get to like be next to Hannah Hampton just because you scored a goal. No, no, no. But yeah, I think because there are a couple of other players who can play in that position. I'm not quite sure about the experiment that she has going on. Um, but yeah, again, LJ and Brighton were exchanging positions from time to time. I thought Kat Macario looked pretty good when she came on. Um, you know, Kat, for people who are building a fantasy team, once Kat Macario is fit, please put her on your team because she will get you at least assists, if not goals and assists, because she's a set piece taker and she is like very, very good
So
at
if
set
you don't
pieces.
get points, you can blame Kai.
Well, maybe I'm scamming you. Who knows? Maybe I will win fantasy football this year. Uh, no, but yeah, I thought Cat looked really good. And I think another learning that I probably had is Bompassor has been trying to uh, put Aggie Beaver Jones as a striker. She played the nine in the first half, and I think it's an experiment that we've seen under him, Emma Hayes, under Serena Peakman as well, to some extent. And I feel like she might be better off playing in like on the right wing or the left wing. She's okay on either side. Um, because when Myra came on, you could see how elite her holder plays, and how she can just like power through a defense because
Yeah.
like you have a player of like Myra's technical ability and strength, like that definitely rattles like the Palace defense. You see Myra coming off the bench, like that itself is scary. But yeah, I don't think Aki Weaver Jones is there yet for me as a striker. Those are my key learnings about Chelsea.
Yeah.
That there is a lot of
Well,
experimenting going on.
well done,
Thank
Kai.
you.
uh,
Cheers.
Liverpool West Ham 1-1. Do you think Liverpool will be disappointed with that?
I think they will be. I think they will be disappointed, you know, from the previous week as well and from this week because they did, again, against West Ham as well, create a few chances. They just couldn't put them away. West Ham, I think, did a decent job of, like, just disrupting. Uh, and they seem pretty organized, I'd say. Yeah, I think they would be really, really disappointed. I think the only good thing that probably came out of it was Olivia Smith scoring her first goal, and it was a beautiful goal. The turn
Yeah,
was
great
amazing. It
goal.
was
It
a
was an
lovely
amazing
finish.
goal.
Yeah, and I have no idea. Like there were so many moments in the game when West Ham, um, like you know, they did stay organized, but there were times when they were just not closing players down, and that just shocks me because you're already sitting in a low block. Just go forward and
Yeah.
close down players. Like don't let them take pot shots, because you
Yeah.
have players in that team who can score from afar. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm sure Liverpool would be disappointed with how the season has started for them because, yeah, they finished top four last season and they need to really up their game to sort of uh, push on.
Yeah, I agree with that. And West Ham was so bad. Even against United was the same, right? It was the same story. And so I think Liverpool should definitely have done better if they have higher ambitions.
And even the goal that Liverpool conceded, oh my god, it was. I feel like the keeper could have done. It seemed like there was a miscommunication between
Yeah, there
Rachel
was, I
Laws and
think.
Gemma Bonner. Like she, like Laws just did not punch it out well enough, and it was just a mess. And for like a backline that's been fairly steady throughout the last season and this season, like you can't be making mistakes like that against West Ham. Like, it's just not done. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. Do you want to run through the other fixtures?
Yeah,
So I
so
think
the next one was Arsenal Leicester, which was 1-0. Manham scored in the 55th minute. Everton versus United was 1-0 as well. Clinton scored an early goal. I will say this about United. I'm really frustrated with United. They're supposed to be like the challengers for like the challenger supreme for that those top three spots. But really, Mark Skinner, he doesn't seem to have any tactics. Like, what is United's style of play? Can anyone point to United and tell me what their style of play is? Like, I certainly can't, and I don't think most United fans can. And really, what he's doing is just relying on the individual talents of his players. So you have all of these bright talents like Clinton, who's now scored her second goal in two games, which is amazing for her. But like you look at like he's wasting this talent. Like Turland looked like she was out of place in that whole game. Like nobody knew what Turland's role is supposed to be. Like what is the point of having these players when you don't have a game plan to make them play together? So yeah, I'm really frustrated. Like it's great for Spurs and Villa and Brighton because then we can just like take that spot from them. But it's like United should really be doing better with the kind of talent they have in the window that they had.
yeah, guys, the summary for that is I'm really bitter that Max Skinner took Clinton and Bizet away from me. So screw. That's what
Yeah,
this is
see,
about.
yep, it's our
Uh,
grades. I don't care. You're wasting this player. You're wasting their talents. Can you please
yeah,
give them
no,
back?
yeah. I think Mark Skinner is another one of those managers who's just like we have a few of those in the WSL. I feel like for Gareth Taylor, Jonas Heidewal, like if they don't get some kind of like at least like WSL, FA Cup, like if they don't get those, they need to challenge well in the Champions League. Like both Skinners are hanging on by a thread. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun. Like all the teams that did not get new managers this season are
Yeah.
hanging. Like those managers are hanging on by a thread. That is the main story.
Ooh, do you want to have a bet? Which Skinner goes first?
Mm, oh, um, oh, that's tough, isn't it? You know, I feel like West Ham may not sack their manager mid-season because they just don't care enough.
I
Mid-season,
have the same feeling for United because like Ineos is just coming to the job and they're going through so much trauma already with the stadium
uh,
fixing and the moving grounds and all of that, chaos is happening. I feel like they'll just be like, okay, he seems to be getting a few results. Let's keep him on until like it becomes untenable to keep him on. So I have a feeling Mark's staying longer than Ryan.
right, right. I feel like it's the other way around. I know, like United also don't really care, but I feel like the fan base is just loud. Uh,
Yeah.
and they've been pretty vocal about how unhappy they are with Skinner since like the last season. So my money is on Mark, but maybe who knows? Maybe you know his players' talents will bail him out. Who knows? Maybe Jonas Heideval will get sacked first, and I will be
Yeah.
very happy about it. um, okay, we do not like condone like people losing their jobs on the spot. Like it's okay.
Oh, why
Like you know
not?
what?
We're fans. We're allowed to say.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just with like grounds people, not managers. Managers can
Yeah.
get sacked. Correct. My bad. Um, yeah. So that's a wrap on the game week 2. I think thoughts on Arsenal Leicester. I think Arsenal had similar problems in terms of it just the goal that they scored came from like a Leicester turnover, like very very like literally in the 6 yard box. So if you can't finish that, then you have a problem. So yeah, beyond that, their game just keeps looking a bit stale. I don't have much else to say. Like it was very obvious was what Leicester were trying to do. They were trying to play, transition football. Like they were just like trying to play on the break. Just pass it to Rantala and she will score a worldie is the plan. I think. Um, let's and she almost did. Oh, and just a shout out to Daphne Van Domselaar. I mean, she's back. Uh, so she played, I think, the full 90 there. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
she was
Uh,
good as well. Like she did
yeah,
a decent amount of shot stopping, and she was quite
yeah.
good.
She had a great save in there as well
Yeah.
from Rantala. So, and Jill Rod is also back for City. Ruptured her ACL in Jan, back in September. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Best wishes to her as well. Hopefully, she won't have to deal with too much like muscle injuries that come after ACLs. Yeah, hopefully she stays fit for the rest of the season. Yeah, so that's a wrap on game week 3-2. Sorry. Um, and we will, I think, wrap up with a quick prediction for game week 3. I will take us through the fixtures. Aishwarya, you tell me your predictions. All right. Brighton Villa.
Brighton Villa. This is going to be exciting, I think. I say 3-2. It's going to be high scoring.
Hmm. 3-2 to
3-2
Brighton, right?
Brighton.
Yeah. Uh, I think it will be 1-0 to Brighton. I don't think it'll be. I think it's going to be like a lot of midfield battles,
Yeah.
hopefully. Um, and I really want to see like Missy Bo Kearns has been a bit quiet in both the games for Villa.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll make the team, and she's a very exciting young player. So maybe we'll get to see some good stuff from her. Oh, I have to predict. Yeah, 1-0. I did. Man City West Ham.
Um 3-0 City.
I'm gonna say 5-0 City.
That's
Because
bad.
I feel like it's going to be a bloodbath. I just feel that way. Because like unlike Brighton, like we've already seen West Ham and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're gonna step away from like, you know, a Marie Hobinger, like you're going to run away from a bunny show. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, please defend properly, guys. Arsenal versus Everton.
uh 2-0 Arsenal. Actually 1-0 2-0 Arsenal. Let's give them some
Okay,
credit.
okay.
I can't
I
believe I just
think,
said that.
yeah, shit. Oh my God, you're gonna get banned from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium
Yeah.
before you even go there, before you scale the stadium. Is that what they do? You
Yeah.
scale it. Anyway, Arsenal Everton. I think maybe 2-1 Arsenal. I maybe they won't keep it. I hope they don't keep it clean sheet. Spurs Liverpool. Exciting.
Ooh, Spurs Liverpool. I think this is the second most Villa Brighton and Spurs Liverpool are the two like the fun fixtures everybody should watch in my opinion. Um Spurs Liverpool. I'm gonna go draw.
Hmm.
2-2.
Okay. I think Liverpool will win this game. Um, sorry, Ash.
See, I can't say
Um,
that. I have to
yeah.
root for my team.
Yes, you do. I think Liverpool is just gonna get a wake. I mean, it's probably been a wake up call, right? Like what happened against West Ham. So they're probably raring to go show everyone that what we're here to compete. So for the top four. So I think maybe 2-1 to Liverpool there. Um, and the last fix, the fifth one, not the final one, because the final one has been postponed, but the fifth one, Leicester Palace. What do you think?
Oh my god, I really hope Palace get it together. You know what annoys me about the Palace thing is that it just makes the league less competitive. Like if everyone is just going to thrash Palace, then that's just going to be like the one team that everyone's just like, oh, these are two easy fixtures for us on the calendar, let's mark them. So it just makes it null and void the existence of Palace. So I just like with Bristol, at least you were expecting a game, like they put heart and soul into it. It's not like they were amazing qualitatively as players, but at least they tried. So I
Yeah.
really hope, this what is it, 7 plus 4, 11 game goals that Palace have conceded. will teach them that they cannot, this is just not sustainable. Maybe just practice some, like do some defensive drills, practice staying in your box. Just put 11
Same.
people behind the ball
Hang
and
from the
just let it
goalpost.
go.
Yeah. Um, sorry, from the crossbar. Yeah.
So
Uh,
did I say what Leicester versus Palace, right?
you didn't predict a score line
3-0 to Leicester.
to Leicester. You know what? It's going to be really interesting because this is like bottom half of the table, like proper fixture. And I agree with what you said. Like this one like team getting relegated and one team getting promoted. The probability is just like too high that the team that gets promoted just gets relegated at the end of the season. So I mean, people have been calling for having two teams to come up and two to go down,
Yeah.
like to begin with. But it's going to be interesting to see how Leicester play against a team like Palace, who's going to sit back, hopefully sit back a
Yeah.
little bit, because they are not playing with the ball right now. As far as I've seen, like from like their style of play. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I think you know what I'm gonna go a bit rogue and I'm gonna call it a draw. I'm gonna say 2-2, and Palace
2-2. You
gets
are
their
saying
first
Palace
points.
scores not one but two goals after
Two
two games.
goals.
They scored
Yes,
no goals.
Katie Stengel is gonna show us why she is a WSL legend. Two goals.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's about it for now. I think we'll probably come back next week, do a quick review of the Champions League games as well.
yeah.
So for the first round of fixtures, then like from the WSL, I'd say like Chelsea are playing Real Madrid on Tuesday. Um, Arsenal are going away to Bayern, um, and that's on Wednesday. And City are playing. I forgot who is City. Oh yeah, City are starting with. They're going away to Saint Polten. Yeah. Um, oh wait, sorry. City are hosting Barcelona. Wow, that's their first game. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
these like fixtures like Bayern, Madrid, Barcelona, that's just firecracker Champions League stuff.
oh
Make sure
yeah,
everyone
Champions
is
League
there.
groups are amazing. Chelsea has a fairly easy group, but Arsenal and Arsenal like City should make it out of the group, like top two qualify. So Barcelona top the group and City come in second.
Yeah.
That should be fine for them. But Arsenal's group is a bit it is a bit tricky. I think they need to be on their toes. Like they have a Bayern, Juve, and Valencia in their group. So
Yeah, they're not making it. Anyway, they suck at the Champions League. It's fine.
the
They
women
will get
don't.
knocked out of
Oh,
the group
another
stage.
cancelable moment for Aishwarya. Arsenal women are the only WSL team to have won the Champions League.
Who
So
cares? Last year they were terrible. They will continue to be terrible this year. May it
yeah.
last forever.
Yes, manifest, manifest, manifest. Okay,
Yes.
I think with that we'll wrap up the pod. Again, I'll remind you guys to please like the video. Please have a look at the other two videos that we've uploaded. Please subscribe to our channel. Share it far and wide. Spread the word, and yeah, we'll catch you next week to do reviews of the third game week. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.